and welcome to the World of Cricket channel for the first day's play. First day's play at the Optus Oval in Perth, India versus Australia. First test match of a 5-test series. The two heavyweights of international cricket head-to-head in the first test here at Optus Oval. So welcome all the viewers to World of Cricket channel, first live stream. Sorry about those technical difficulties there, guys. So first test live from Optus Oval in Perth. Let's just check the weather first of all. So early on at Perth, we have some cloud cover. Just make sure we've got our volume up here. So yes, we've got some cloud cover in the first session here early on from around 11 till about 1 o'clock in Perth today. The cloud cover will break off and burn off and the sun will come out in the afternoon. So looking to have a good, clean day of cricket on the second and third session. Looks like there's going to be quite a bit of cloud coverage though on that first session. So there's every chance that there's going to be quite a few wickets taken if the bowlers put the balls in the right line and length. Early on, I believe there will be quite a few wickets. Now, we've just had the toss out in the middle of the Perth Oval, as it were, Perth Optus Stadium, taking over from the Wacker Oval now as the main stadium ground for cricket in Australia. In the Perth, Western Australian area. So yeah, first test underway. Bumrah and Jasper Bumrah is the captain, filling in today for Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma looks to be out for the first test, hopefully arriving sometime later in the week during the last day or two of the test to rejoin the Indian camp in the Indian squad for the second test with any luck. They do need their captain, a fantastic opening batsman. But yes, Jasper Bumrah taking over the captaincy for the first test for India. I believe his first time as captain for India as well. And Bumrah and Cummins just moments ago out in the middle of Perth Oval, Perth Optus Stadium for the coin toss, and India win the coin toss. India win the toss and are going to bat first. Bumrah has chosen to bat first. We're just going to have a look at the teams here. So Australia's named a debutant in McSweeney. So it's Khawaja, McSweeney, Labuschagne, Smith, Head, Marsh, Carey, Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark and Lyon. India, Jaiswal, KL Rahul. We have Padikal, Kohli, Pants, Jurel, Sundar, and looks like Bumrah. And so looks like Jadeja and the great Ravi Ashwin have been left out for the first test. So they've went with Sundar and they've went with Bumrah. And it looks like a very strong team from India. Obviously, a couple of the names here going up against Australia last week and the week before. So, yeah, interesting team for India. The two great spinners, possibly one of the greatest all-time all-rounders, Jadeja, and one of the greatest leg spinners of all time, Ashwin, not present in this test match. Now we just have the great Sunil Gavaskar and Alan Border bringing out the BGT Border Gavaskar Trophy for the first time together. Great to see these two men, these two legends together. They were both present at the coin toss as well, and gave each other a huge hug. So really good to see AB out there doing well. We know he's had some issues with some dementia and some brain issues of late, and great to see Gavaskar and Border out there together in Perth. And so the two teams now walking out together. Australia bowling first, India batting first. Jaiswal, absolute genius young player of Indian cricket. Should be fantastic to see him out there opening the batting for India against this phenomenal bowling quartet of Australia. The only quartet in the history of Test cricket are Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark and Lyon, all to have over 250 Test wickets apiece as a quartet going into a Test match. So really legendary all-time status for this Australian bowling quartet. Let's see how they go against this younger, slightly more inexperienced Indian team. Look, Kohli's here. Kohli wants to make amends for his last 2 years. Last 2 years of Test cricket, I believe Kohli's averaged only just under 30, 29 or so. So, look, Kohli performs extraordinarily well in Australia, always has. I believe he's ready for a big series. If he can peel off a couple of big hundreds, there's every chance that India can get a couple of wins on the board here in his Test series and make it extremely, extremely close, tough fourth series, which I believe it will be. Mohammad Shami out as well for the touring party for India. Shami's just come back, I believe, in Indian domestic cricket for his first game, so more than likely won't make this Test series. Maybe flown over late in the fourth or fifth Test if deemed fit, but at this stage seems unlikely. Both the national anthems right now are being played across the Optus Stadium in Perth. India's national anthem and Australia's national anthem coming up. All the lovely young kids there backing up all the players at the front. Be a great thrill for all those young children out there to be able to stand in front of those heroes only an arm's length away, and at the start of obviously a great, amazing Test series. This could be one of the great Test series of all time. On paper, it's billed as it's equaling the Ashes, Australia and England, and their rivalry for over 140 odd years cricket, nearly 150 years of cricket. But India and Australia, number one at the moment in terms of clash, in terms of all forms, really. Australia and India is number one, and it's going to be an amazing series. 5 Test series, great to see. There's been quite a few Test series in the last decade or two. There have only been 4 Test series in Australia and India. And I think the BCCI and the Australian Cricket Board have made the right decision this time on, 5 Test series. The best of the best will win. There should be, really, the way Test cricket is played these days, there really should be a result in nearly every Test match. The only question mark may be the SCG. Sydney Cricket Ground has had the lowest rating or the highest rating for rain and washouts over the last couple of decades, even surpassing Melbourne, which is seen as a wet town. But Sydney, during early January to mid-January, is always there's always a lot of storms, a lot of hot air, hot rain, hot weather in Sydney, and then late storms, which usually calls off a couple of hours of play, if not a day's play or two. So, look, if I was putting my money on how many Tests would be finished this series, I believe you'd be smart to just call it 4. Let's call SCG. Let's call the SCG a washout right now. But nevertheless, I believe that there will be, giving the right weather conditions to Sydney, I think this can be a fantastic series and really will go down to the wire, and should be really a Test series brought out and finalised and finished in the last session, the last day or two of the Sydney Test match, and could go either way, 3-2. My personal belief is I think Australia on home soil probably will pull it out 3-2, but you cannot write off the Indians. Absolute master team, master nation of cricketers. It's going to be a great contest. So right now, the Australian national anthem is going on. A lot of veterans in that Australian side. Real contrast in this first test. Veteran team up against a younger team. No Shami, no Rohit Sharma. Captain not there. Obviously, the captain having his second child at home back in India, and hopefully will be again arriving in Perth later this week and ready for the second test, because he is a very crucial part to this team as a leader and an opening batsman, and I believe he's very crucial to India winning this series. So India needs him back for the second test, no doubt about that. But Bumrah is the captain for day one. It's going to be very interesting. Very, very rare in Test cricket in 150 years that two fast bowlers, two opening bowlers, or two fast bowlers, or two bowlers in general, are captaining their respective teams. Bumrah for India, Cummins, of course, for Australia. Fantastic dynamic, really interesting dynamic there. So Cummins has got a lot of experience now going into his third season as Australian captain. A lot of pressure will be on Bumrah to see how he can handle and balance opening the bowling and changing the field and working with Kohli and working with Rishabh Pant and working with his teammates on his fielding position and, just the overall test where we're at. So it'll be very interesting. So here we go. Jaiswal walking his way out. Absolute phenomenal figures from the young man over the last year or two. One of the leading batsmen in world cricket, and phenomenal future. If you could think that possibly Gill, possibly Pant, possibly Sharma, Jaiswal opening the batting for India over the next handful of years is going to be very hard to beat. So Indian opening batsmen KL, Rahul and Jaiswal opening the batting, walking out to the centre. Very green top here today in Perth again, as I predicted, and have looked at the weather. It's approximately 18 to 21 degrees early, a little bit overcast. Looks like there's quite a bit of cloud coverage all over the city of Perth at the moment. Really should favour the bowling team, of course, on a fast green deck with some overhead conditions. The ball should move. Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood should be pretty hard to take on at this stage. Who's opening the bowling? We're going to see, usually in this stage, Australia, the last few years, it has been Stark and Hazelwood, with Captain Cummins coming in as the first change. So, yeah, Mitchell Stark opening the bowling for Australia. What a phenomenal player this man has been for Australia. 34 years of age. He's in his 90th Test match. 350 plus wickets. Absolutely amazing career so far. One of the all-time left arm fast bowling greats for Australia, I would say, up there with definitely that top echelon with Alan Davidson and Mitch Johnson, to name a couple. They'd be my top three, I'd say, Australian Test fast left-arm bowlers all time. And we are set. India, Australia. Looks like we have three slips in and a gully and a point. Regulation type of field for Stark, Jaiswal, Rahul. Jaiswal facing up to Stark for the first ball of Test 1. Optus Stadium, Australia and India. Here we go. And that one way down leg side from Mitch Stark. 4 byes to start off with. Carey did not even land a glove on that one. So that's India, none for 4 first ball. Wasn't that wide, but swung back quite a bit and swung quite a bit down the leg side. And yeah, I think there's quite a bit of movement there early on here in Perth Stadium. So we've just got a mid-on, regulation mid-on, mid-off, short, mid-off, mid-on. I believe it's Head in there, or it might be McSweeney. Silly mid-on. And an edge Second ball from Jaiswal. Stark. Looks like a big edges. Labuschagne put that down, I believe. Labuschagne is in. So Smith is in first slip. Labuschagne's second slip. Third slip, I should say. It looks like, no, the ball's just landed short and in the middle of both Smith and Labuschagne at second and third slip. Can't quite work out who is at first slip of the stage for Australia. Start coming in. Straight on the money there. Well played by Jaiswal. So, yeah, there looks to be a little bit of inward swing from Stark coming over the wicket. Just a little bit of movement, maybe a little bit of air, a little bit of wind around, and just that little bit of inward movement. Yes, Travis Head in there at in a silly mid-on, not mid-off, silly mid-on, short leg there as a catching position, one that may pop up off a short Stark ball. 3 slips, a wide 5th or 6th slip, and a gully in for Australia, and in comes Stark. A bit of hoop back to the offside this time, so definitely some movement there for Australia and Stark early on. Pitch very green, a lot of green on the pitch. That's moved back nicely and right on middle and off, top and middle and off, and well played by Jaiswal. Absolutely well played in and behind defence from the Indian opener. Bit of a mixed bag in the first few deliveries from Stark as per usual, but that is why he can be a wicket taker. Here he comes again. Still on the onside. Jaiswal just plays it to Mitch Marsh there. Mid-on. And sun just starting to pop out now, even in the first over. There's quite a little bit of a breeze there. I do see quite a bit of breeze coming off the Australian shoulders there on the uniforms. There's a little bit of breeze rolling around that circular MCG type stadium. And just looking at it looks like Mitch Stark has overstepped, and it looks like there's been a no ball on his 4th delivery or 5th delivery. Yes, and one left by Jaiswal there, outside off. So Mitch Stark just overstepping, having a look at the line now, the popping crease. Would be quite a while since most of these Australian players have played at Optus Stadium. Besides the 2020, I believe the other night, and some of the state games earlier during this year, which none of the regular players would play. Would be only McSweeney may have played here early in the year. Not sure about that one. And here comes Stark again. India, none for 5, 5 for none. Yeah, quite a bit of hoop there. Fuller delivery from Mitch Stark. Well played by Jaiswal. Right on the money, that one with Stark, and really about, well, it's quite a few inches of swing back away there. So Stark, first over, quite a good over except for the first delivery, which went down the leg side for a wide. India, after 1 over, no wicket for 5 runs. Not a bad over at all from Stark. Quite a bit of hooping, quite a bit of movement. I think that would give Cummins and Hazelwood quite a bit of confidence going into this early first session here. Repping my St George, the greatest club in the world, St George District Club, the great club of Sir Donald Bradman, as you can see behind me. And now our wonderful opening bowler, another St George alumni, the great Josh Hazelwood, coming in to open the bowling from the other end for Australia. India, none for 5. Great Josh Hazelwood, having won a first grade premiership, I believe, for Australia, for St George, back in the Sydney competition back in the mid to late 2000s. Here he is coming in for his first delivery to KL Rahul. Right on the money from Hazelwood, just up around the waist. Rahul trying to look to just turn it on the left-hand side. popped off his hip and maybe his gloves into the right-hand side. Very good delivery. Cutting back and quite a bit of lift there. Very Glenn McGrath-like, as Josh Hazlewood has been likened to over the years. Let's see what he can do for the second delivery. Hazlewood into Rahul. That's way outside off stump, well left by Rahul there. So Australia looking to take some early wickets here. Very interesting first over from Mitch Stark. Must be quite a bit of movement and quite a little bit of breeze coming across Carey's left to right shoulder from the northern end, I believe it here is at Optus Stadium. So there's quite a little bit of breeze there. It's going to assist both bowlers from either end. The right-hander, I think they've got their ends right here. I believe Cummins has definitely got his end right here. The sun's popping out now. Most of the cloud is starting to burn off, just like Australia's good weather forecast predicted this morning. As I had a quick look, did say 17 to 21 up until around 12 to 1 o'clock, roughly around the end of the first session, and it should be sunshine for the rest of the afternoon here in Perth. It looks a picture right now. And Hazlewood, beautiful ball there, just beating Rahul outside off stump. Rahul fishing quite a way away there from his pads. Yeah, he's quite the gap, about half a foot gap there between his pads and his bat, fishing away. A little bit of movement, a little bit of a scrambled seam there for Hazlewood. Straight through to Carey, and Rahul probably hasn't played a lot of football, played a lot of cricket on this ground either in Perth, I would say. And this is a newer ground in Perth, obviously overtaking the Wacker ground for renovations at the moment. And again, Hazlewood just throwing one up and outside off stump. This time Rahul just letting it go. Really nice length so far from Josh Hazlewood. That really cut off the pitch. Well, nice height, nice bounce right up around the batsman's midriff to shoulder and really cutting away as a leg cutter, Malcolm Marshall style, that one. Hazlewood up again, straight on the money, and Rahul just pushes to mid-on, no run. Looks like a very tidy over from Josh Hazlewood. Maiden over. India, after the second over, none for 5. So a good start there from Hazlewood, right on the money. Quite a little bit of movement either way. Indian batsman Rahul looks quite unsure of himself here. As we see the graphic of Optus Stadium from the top there, it is right next to, I believe, Fremantle Bay or Fremantle River right there in the city centre. Fremantle, Perth city centre, Perth River there, and right next to the centre of the stadium, definitely some wind there, going to be helping the bowlers early on, and Stark comes in. Jaiswal, he's flung a one, it's gone wide, it's to the gully, and Australia. 1 for 5, well caught, that absolutely flew. Jaiswal caught, not quite sure who's in gully there. Let's see who that is. It might be Usman. Well pitched up delivery, Jaiswal flashing through the mid-range area to look to drive the ball through onside. McSweeney, it's the man on debut. Nathan McSweeney in gully takes a very well-timed catch. India, 1 for 5. Jaiswal gone for a duck. 0 runs from 8 balls. Looked okay, but just couldn't get off the mark there against Stark. And McSweeney in his debut test match has taken a solid catch, very far off the outside edge. Jaiswal looking to drive through the onside there, and on drive, thick edge, easy catch from McSweeney, just off to his right. Tough catch, but took it well. That will be a real confidence booster for Australia and a real confidence booster for young McSweeney in his debut. Unbelievable start for Australia. The Corden, Labuschagne, Head, Smith, Carey getting around McSweeney on his debut. That will give the young fellow some confidence going into what will be his debut innings later, sometime today or tomorrow, or maybe the day after, depending on how India go. New batsman in is Padikkal. So left-hander, Padikkal first drop. Here he is against Stark. Stark right on the money there. Just hooping back in, straight delivery, right on middle leg there. Definitely a bit of movement for the bowlers right now for Australia. So some big topics in this test series coming up. We've covered the weather. The weather looks good. We're looking like a great day's play. Perth looking fantastic. Sun is out. Clouds have covered, cleared off and burned off across Perth there. Looking great. Stark in for his second ball. Third ball of the over. Straight through Padikkal. Straight through to the keeper, Nathan Cleary. Carey, Alex Carey. Wrong sport. Back to the cricket. So let's just have a look at a replay of that ball from a bit of a scrambled seam. Yep, definitely cut away. This is the last ball to Padikkal. Just missing the outside edge. Yeah, played inside the ball. It was missed. Definitely missed it. Definitely played and missed. Definitely some cut and some seam and some movement for the Australians early on here. And here comes Stark on his fourth ball. Bit of a loose one outside, off stump there to Padikkal. So Rahul not off the mark. Padikkal, new batsman, not off the mark. 1 for 5. India. 4 wides, 1 no ball to Stark. So it's 1 for 5 to Stark and nothing. 1 for 0 for Stark, nothing for India at this stage. Good to see the great Ravi Shastri opening the commentary and the proceedings here today for Foxtel in Australia. Out there with AB and Sunny earlier at the toss, and Cummins and Bumrah. Here's Stark again. That one's hooping in, a lot of swing, big appeal for a leg B4, LBW. Going easily down the leg side, I'd say there by a good 6 inches. Probably not even pitching in line. Very late hoop and a late Yorker from Stark. Big appeal from the Aussies, but I believe they know that that one was quite in line. If it was probably 6 inches to the right, that would have taken out leg stump. Let's just have a look at the replay. Very close to pitching in line, probably pitching just outside leg and going down leg by about, 5 to 6 inches, and played down the leg side by Padikkal off the pads, which just moved away to the offside there. Looking at all sorts here, Padikkal at the moment. And Stark with another Yorker. Beat Padikkal, all ends up. Absolutely fantastic over from Mitchell Stark. Wicket made in Australia. In command at the moment after the third over. India 1 for 5. Another great Yorker. Let's have a look at that one on the replay. Stark literally beating Padikkal. All ends up. Literally beat off stump. And a lovely Yorker by about 3 to 4 inches. Beating for pace. Too quick for him here. I don't think Padikkal has faced this type of tall, fast, in-swing bowling probably at home or anywhere around the world. So this is going to be a real test for India here. Kohli scheduled to come in next with Pant, I believe. So real testing times here for Australia and India. India losing another wicket now would put them in deep trouble. Australia right on top early. A little bit of cloud cover coming back over, which is really going to help the Aussies right now. believe for that, like I've pointed out, for that first session or so, it's going to be cloud cover and sun in and out all day, which will cause some vision and some light issues for the batsman. Never easy to bat in light and then bat in cloud cover of the very next ball. And you've got a guy, both opening fast bowls for Australia, very tall, Stark 6'5", and Hazelwood 6'3", 6'4", tall, fast bowlers, ball coming down from across and above the sight screen. Not easy in changing light conditions. And here we go. Hazelwood, again, right on the money. Couple of balls straight outside off stump and bowling his Glenn McGrath-like line. Australia on top early here. Hazelwood in. Slower delivery there, just a little bit slower, but hooped around from Hazelwood. Still getting right up around the armpits for Rahul, who let it go through in the off stump and let it go through to Carey, but definitely some movement in the air and some movement seam off the pitch here for Australia early on. So Australia really having won the correct part of the conditions right now. And Hazelwood in again for his fourth delivery. Great over so far. Again, right on the money, just outside off. Rahul just letting that one go through to the keeper. So yes, Rahul, no runs, 10 deliveries. Patakal, no runs, 5 deliveries. Looking like a tough start here in the first test for India. Hazelwood again, a bit of a quicker one. Again, outside off stump, beautiful line and length for Josh Hazelwood. Absolutely beautiful line from Hazelwood again. Again, the cloud coverage has come back over. Quite a little bit of little slight breeze from right to left for Hazelwood, so it's just going to help his away swinger, and we do know he can bring the ball back in. So again, the Australians pick the correct ends for Stark and Hazelwood as the opening bowlers, and here comes Hazelwood for his last delivery of the over. Getting the full one that time, getting Rahul to play outside off. Just driving outside off, just playing it outside off and coming back for India's first runs off the bat of the morning. 3 runs to KL Rahul. 3 there, got through quickly for their first run and back for the 3. So India off the mark now. India after 4 overs, 1 wicket for 8. So Stark lining up for his 3rd over. Again now coming in to line up against KL Rahul. 3 off 12. And that's Sun again popping in. Not a bad crowd early on. Most of the bottom pavilion concourse rung of the bottom of the Optus Stadium there looks to be half full, so it looks to be quite a few thousand in for the first day. It is a Friday here in Australia, so a working day, even though most Australians do have 3-day weekends, just quietly. End of our working week, so we expect huge crowd there tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Probably, hopefully, close to sellouts, but not a bad, really good crowd down there early on in the concourse. Early on, probably 10,000 plus in attendance at this stage. Stark into Rahul, 3 slips, wide 5th or 6th slip gully, McSweeney, and a wide point or a short point. So KL Rahul on strike. India 1 for 8 into the 5th over. Some interesting comments here from my old buddy, Mr. Stevie Tabone. Shout out to all my ex-cricket teammates out there. Going back to Uncle Scott's boys back in the day and St George Rep boys in the day, and then to Greenacre, Steve Tabone and the lads, Greenacre Pigs as we were, and finally to the Cronulla Seagulls, my brother and Deepak and all the lads, all the Indian lads watching today. Hope you all enjoy watching the game and watching the stream, and yeah, good luck to India in this series. And Stark coming again for the third ball of the over. Nice delivery straight through to Alex Carey there. So just a few comments there from some of the viewers there. Adam Morningstar, go India, win, win, win. All right, go India. Win, 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 Adam Morningstar. Good luck, India. Hope it's a fantastic series. You guys really give Australia a real tough battle, and it goes right down to the SCG in the fifth test. Stark coming in now. Another ball pitched up a little bit further. Nice delivery right up there. Rahul coming forward, just playing it out towards point. So Rahul just getting his eye now, getting the line and length, getting the pace. Looking like trying to settle in now. India's, test cricket, guys. We've got a long 5 days. 5 days is a long time to win a test match. Plenty of time to bat. So India just need to bat all day. If they can bat all day today, they will go a long way to batting Australia out of the test match and out of the series. First series, absolutely crucial. First session, absolutely crucial. Can India take out the first session, the first day, and go one up in the test series? Very likely if they bat well. So Rahul doing a good job right now, starting to settle in. Let's see some other comments down here. Ding Ding, hi, how you going? Subbed, thank you, Ding Ding. Go India, Ding Ding. Thank you for the shout out, Ding Ding. Unusual name from India, Ding Ding, but anyway, let's go. Stark coming in for his last ball of his third over. And Rahul just pushes that one out through the cover region there for a single line, cleaning up. End of 5 overs, it's India 1 for 9. India 1 for 9. So Padigal still to get off the mark, 0 of 5 balls, and Rahul just starting to push a few balls around, getting the pace of the pitch, which it does look like even though there's a bit of pace there, it's a two-pace pitch, as they call it. The ball's a bit up and down. It can go through, can go a bit lower. Seems to be quite a bit of movement. And again, with that slight overcast conditions coming in and out of the playing ground, there's going to be a bit of movement there early on. And Rahul just finding his way, 4 off 18. 5 extras. So Rahul 4. 5 extras all coming from Starks. 4 buys, and which we'll go to the keeper, and the 1 no ball. And in comes Hazelwood for his new over. Just drifting on the pads there, and Rahul just turning one around the corner, backward of square, and comes back for 2 runs. So Rahul's starting to look quite comfortable now. I think the pace is really worrying him too much right now. It's looking like he's starting to get a grip on the pace of the pitch. So KL Rahul looking good. Now moved 6 from 19. India 1 for 11. Hazelwood coming in. Another wide one just out. A bit full this time, out to Carey. So yeah, some real big stories for this upcoming series. Unbelievable stuff going on. 2 top nations in the world of cricket in all forms, but 2 top test playing nations, no doubt about it, going head to head in Australia. India having won the last 2 series in Australia. So Australia really looking to make amends and come back here. in the 2024-25 Border Gavaskar Trophy 5-test series. One just played to mid-off there from KL Raul. Hazelwood still looking very consistent. Just looking at his ball map here on the Foxtel replay. 4, 5, 6, 7 balls, literally within 6 inches of each other. Absolutely on the money. Very McGrath-like again. We'll have to call it very Hazelwood-like soon, because he's an Australian legend himself, and he puts in a bouncer. First bouncer from the Aussies, I believe. I haven't had a bouncer yet. Very attacking stump-to-stump type of bowling from Australia until we've had that first bouncer of the day. Cummins and Mitch Marsh, the two captains of senior Australian cricket, having a chat there at mid-on and mid-off. And ding dong, ding ding, you sub. Thanks so much, mate. Thanks, guys. Thanks for subbing. Go ding ding. Awesome. Thanks for subbing. Keep it up. Let's go, guys. Sub, like, and comment below, eh? So Hazelwood again into Raul, forward defensive stroke, looking quite solid now, Raul. So let's have a look at some of these more of these comments. Steve Taboni, my old Greenacre Pigs teammate from 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, somewhere around there, 98 to 2001. Where's your Greenacre cap, buddy? I'll get it for you on the next break. I was going to wear it, but I thought I had to rep the greatest club of all time, the greatest cricket of all time. It's got to be Bradman and Hazelwood first, mate. Sorry. Anyway, Hazelwood in again. Another full whitish ball to finish off the over there. Another dot ball. So India, after 6 overs, India 1 for 11 after 6. So let's have a look at some of these comments here. Ian Watts from G'day from Queensland. G'day, Ian. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're watching the cricket. Hope you're watching the stream. Go the Queenslanders. Not too much. I'm a New South Wales blue bagger, but well done. Ian up there from Queensland. Hope you're having a great day, mate. Having a cold one, watching the cricket. Go the Aussies. Next comment, Stumpy, go Australia. So Stumpy, I gather you're from Australia. Go Stumpy. Thanks for the comment, guys. Steve, Ian, thanks for the comment, guys. All of you guys, I hope you've all subscribed to the channel, like all the videos, comment on all the videos, have a chat as much as you want, please. That's what we're here for. Let's be interactive. Let's have a chat. Let's see what we can come up with, what's going to happen in this test match, what's going to happen in this series. Love everyone's predictions. Going to go through some of the predictions in a moment. Some of my predictions, some of the cricketers' predictions, some of my friends' predictions for the series wins, most run scorers, most wicket takers, etc. Anyway, back to the cricket. Stark coming in for his 4th over. Another dot ball there. Yeah, he's coming into Radikal, who's on 0 off 6. Real test here for the young fella, for Paddy Gale. Stark in. Yeah, nice delivery right up. Perfect line and length. Hooping away, moving off the seam, going out towards first slip. Lovely delivery from Mitch Stark on the money there. So Paddy Gale really up against it here, the young fella. Yeah, not very familiar with his statistics back home in international, in his domestic cricket, or very familiar with his international career to date. But young fella, he's got one of his shoelaces undone on his back shoe for the moment, so could be problems here. Another delivery, absolutely nearly a carbon copy of the ball before, but slightly fuller and swing even more. What a delivery from Stark. It's just right in the pocket, right where you want to make a block shot, and you can't get to it. It just moves away about 6 inches off the floor and about 6 inches again in the air. Delivery from Stark. He's had a bit of a smile there. He knows there's a wicket coming. If you can get one a little bit closer, a little bit more on off stump, maybe cutting back, or a Yorker, in-swing Yorker now. Stark coming in for his 4th ball, 4th over. Yeah, Fuller again, same delivery again. Patagal literally plays and misses this time. Slight bit fuller again. Nearly 3 identical balls from Stark. Full swinging in, moving away off the seam and swinging out to first. That one even quicker. That was a quicker one. That was up around. I'm not sure if we got the speed gun on the Foxtel. On Foxtel here, I can't see any speed gun. Yeah, that one's up 139. So 140 type of 140 Ks there. Some quick clicks from Stark. Some wheels, and he's gone again for another full one, but slightly wider this time and left. Very smartly and patiently by Patagal. So India still 1 for 11 in the 7th over. Last ball coming up for Stark's 7th over. Let's have a look at a few more of these comments after this last ball going into the changeover for the 8th over. This is over number 7 from Stark, and here he comes into the last delivery. Another full one, just seeming back a little bit right on middle of the knife. Well played by Patagal, and that is the end of the over. Another great over from Stark. Maiden again, 2 maidens, and he is looking really good. Stark at the moment, 1 for 11 India. So, Stumpy says, Glenn Maxwell, I have his cousin's phone number. Ian Robinson, a very good friend of mine. I was at his house last week. I went to school with Glenn Maxwell's cousin, Patrick Robinson is a good friend. That's awesome, Stumpy. Good stuff, mate. Yeah, it's great to have some connection with some legendary cricketer or first-class cricketer or state cricketer. We all probably played a bit of rep cricket or a bit of rep sport as we were younger, but not all of us went on. Like myself, didn't go on, but played with some fantastic first-grade rugby league players and cricketers. And obviously, in the St George area, we're all very fond of the Don, the greatest cricketer, batsman of all time, no doubt whatsoever. But our hero in the 90s, who I grew up with in the 80s and 90s, was the great Graham Romans, who captained St George, captained St Kilda, played for New South Wales, played for Victoria, greatest cricketer I've ever played with, and still in contact with Romo right now. And as a few of us old St George boys are, and what a legend that guy is, still playing at nearly 50 years of age, high-level cricket and scoring hundreds. Shout out to Romo, absolute legend, Romo. Good to see you. I hope you've still got a couple of these old. I know you've got this one, the old this is the Causey Shield, but I know you've got the Moore Shield that we played in together under 13s, 14s back in 92, 93, when you just dominated 50s, 100s everywhere. What a player that guy was. Should have played for Australia. That shows you how hard it is to play for your nation. When you've got a guy like Graham Rummins, who was absolute superstar, still going to be better to play for Australia. Unbelievable. Anyway, thanks, Stumpy, for the comment. Faye Maxwell's auntie passed away. Glenn Maxwell's auntie Faye passed away. Okay, Stumpy, thanks for that. R.I.P. Maxie's grandmother. Very sad to hear that. And now we have Pat Cummins, Captain Cummo into the attack in the 8th over. Is replacing Hazelwood at this southern end, I believe, with the breeze just coming over his left to right shoulder. Now looking at the flags here, the wind's really swirling around there in that stadium. Crowd building up down the concourse. Great footage there from Foxtel coming out into the ground from behind the concourse. Concourse looks quite packed, nearly the whole ground all around. So nice crowd building up here at Optus Stadium in Perth. And Cummins in again. Another full ball, a little bit of movement away, very similar line to Stark on the last over. Just full in that sort of area where you're going to play the cover drive, but he's not quite sure if it's there. Moving off the pitch, moving in the air and cutting away off the pitch, seaming away. Again to, not so much the first slip, but moving in the air to carry. Cummins. Yeah, seaming away off the pitch. That's what he does best. He loves seaming up. He gets great cut and seam a la Malcolm Marshall. Leg cutter, basically, hitting the pitch, going away from the right-hander. Here he is again for his 4th ball. Cummins. The dot just down to head on his haunches already. Bit tired, heady already, under the bin lid, as they call it, there at short leg. Under the bin lid, he's already tired on the ground. Needs a rest, needs some water, old Heady. Second child there must be running around quite crazy there at around at home there with his new child. I believe he's got the second child as well. And Cummins is coming in again. Another straight delivery, just a little bit on leg side, just playing it on defensive stroke. India still just sitting quietly at 1 for 11, looking okay, but Australia bowling a decent line length at the moment. Most of that cloud coverage again dissipated from over the top of Optus Stadium. Talking about the crowd, looks like there might be somewhere between 10 and 15,000 there early on. It's a large stadium. Optus Stadium hosts all of the AFL, the Australian Football League, large soccer, state of origin clashes. Large stadium, purpose-built, very similar to the MCG, I believe, can hold 60 to, I'm not exactly sure, 60 to 80,000. It's a massive stadium, much bigger than WACA. The WACA used to only hold 30 to 40 or 30,000, I believe. This stadium, yeah, I mean, I think in recent times, Taylor Swift has toured here last year. Coldplay were only there a week or so ago, selling it out, I think, with the crowd all on the ground for a rock and roll concert or a pop concert. I think fits about 85,000, so it must be about a 65 to 70,000 stadium. Massive coliseum a la the MCG, and that was a very good over from Pat Cummins, I believe, in his first over, another maiden for Australia. Let's just have a look, going over the replays of the last over from Mitch Starc. And yes, just well played again. KL Rahul looking quite solid. So it's 1 for 13 after 8. India 1 for 13 after 8 overs. Starc in again. See if he can get that pace a little bit, work on that pace a bit more, get that pace up as he's warming up. Again, unbelievable delivery. Right in that same slot to Patigal. Right up in the driving block hole position. Just right of your right-hand stumps, right-hand player, right stick. He's playing and missing. He's going through to Carey. It's 6 inches outside. Excuse me, 6 inches outside off stump. Seaming off the pitch and cutting away again. Starc only looks to be really not expressed today. He looks like he's hitting somewhere between 135, 140. Just trying to find his length and not spray them, because it really does look like quite a bit of overhead conditions out there for the bowlers today. And just as I say that, he sprays one slightly down the leg side. No wide call, but one down the leg side from Starc. Yeah, he just seems to be bowling within himself today. Well, that one was 142. So we do know that Starc can usually, when he's at his fiery best, he can get up around 145, 150 plus, usually around that late 140s when he's at his best. And with that height, and that bounce and the movement, 145, 140 is incredibly hard to play. Anyway, he's bowling really well at the moment, and India still struggling to get along with to get the scoreboard ticking over. Starc, okay, he's let that one go right wide now, and that was a first wide from Starc. Carey taking that one out, way out near the second slip there. I think Starc's getting quite tired now, even though he's only into his 4th or 5th over. Big fella like this coming in, be quite warm there, and even though it's only 21, 22 degrees, quite humid, overcast there, even though a little bit of breeze. Again, first test of the summer. Some of the Australian players haven't had as much cricket going into this series as you would hope, so they're going to build up their fitness as they go during the test series, one would believe. That one's just been left to go throughout the side off stump from Starc. So India 1 for 14 off 8.3 overs. Just steadily ticking along. It's trying to get their heads over, especially Patigal. Now no runs off 14. Very slow, trying to get himself off the mark here. A little bit of breeze coming across his shoulder, and the left-hand movement and the movement off the pitch from Starc, very difficult to deal with at the moment for Patigal. Here comes Starc. Just down leg side, play down leg side, just off the pad there to Carey, another dot ball. So we'll continue to go over some of these comments from you guys down in the comments. Don't forget to like and comment, guys. Comment, subscribe. Everyone's got something to say here about the Australian-India series. Going to be an amazing 5-test series. Let's see. What's your predictions, guys? Who's going to win? Who's going to win the first test? Who's going to take the most wickets? And who's going to get the most runs? Let's have them. Comments down below, guys. Stark coming in again. Short delivery. Just played off the back foot down into the ground to McSweeney at gully there. No chance of a catch there. He played it down nicely, Patikal, but again, looking very tentative there, Patikal. Not quite sure where that ball's moving and how much height and bounce he's going to get out of Stark. Again, very tall man, Stark. Very fast bowler again, hitting 144 in the last one. So starting to get the speed up there again. That's probably why he's just being a bit loose for his last few deliveries, getting the speed up close to 150, and he comes again for last ball of the over. And a nice full out-swinging Yorker, played well straight down the pitch there, and that is another over gone. India, 9 overs down, 1 for 14. So 1 for 14, India. 9 overs. Playing very, very circumspect at the moment. Very careful, India. I think they do realise another wicket now if they go down 2 for 15, 2 for 20 with Kohli, even though Kohli, one of the all-time greats, about to come in next. Hasn't had a great time over the last 2 years or so, Kohli. Averaging only 29, just under the shade of 30. So he'll be very nervous coming out at 2 for 20, I believe. Another wicket goes down. Kohli goes early and India hit 3 for 25. Could be a very, very short afternoon for India. But at the moment, KL Rahul batting very well. Circumspect, quiet, getting his head behind the ball, not playing too many shots, not playing and missing too much at the moment. But India looking good. Looks like there's quite a bit of fans out there for the Indians. A lot of colour and drums and beats going on out there for India at the moment. Quite a few fans. Good to see a bunch of Indian fans there at Perth making some noise for their home, for their touring country, as it were. So Stark off now and Cummins back into the attack again. Just a slight wider. He looks to be bowling quite full and quite wide at the moment, Cummins. Trying to get, I believe they're trying to get Rahul to flash at one wide for a slips catch or catch to McSweeney in the gully at this stage. It looks to be that there's been no bounces, nothing off the back foot. Everything's full. Very good line length from Australia. Cummins a little bit full at that time, bit of a quicker delivery. Got that up at 137. Got Rahul just to play defensively off the back foot there. That one rose a little bit, just came up at his chest. He had to play with one hand off the bat there and actually get that ball down. That really jumped off the pitch at him there and got him right on the top of the splice of the bat there. So Cummins looking pretty fast early on, pretty lethal early on, as usual, as he is Captain Pat. And in comes Cummins again. Another wide full one, seam back, cut off the pitch a little bit, cut away. A lot of movement, a lot of cut off this pitch early this morning. Just like I predicted with the weather and the greenness of the pitch and the pace. It was always going to be a seeming moving pitch, this one. A lot of cut, a lot of movement in the air, a lot of ball moving off the air, off the pitch, moving away to first slip, cutting back to carry. So interesting pitch that Australia has come up with. The groundsman here at Perth for the first test, and here's Cummins again in to Rahul. Similar delivery just off the back foot. Rahul just plays a defensive stroke to short mid off there. So again, India very slow, very circumspect at this stage. 1 for 14 in the 10th over. Very slow run rate at this stage. Definitely not Bazball, as the English like to say, Bazball, or as we like to say in Australia, Adam Gilchrist ball. did it way before Bazball. Sorry, Englishman. We'll call it Gilly Ball. But India 1 for 14 off 10 overs, so 1.4 runs per over is a very slow run rate at this moment. Cummins in again. Full of ball. KL Roll just tucks the batting behind the pad there, lets it go through. Nice delivery from Captain Pat again. So 9.5 overs, 1 for 14, 1.4 runs and over at the moment. If India were to keep going at this trajectory during the day, 90 odd overs, they've been looking around 150. I believe, as I say, the pitch will dry out obviously during the second and third sessions with the more sun that comes out. It'll dry out, it'll harden a bit, should be a bit flatter. India, if they can bat for the day, they should be up around 230, 240, but probably not a lot more than that given the way Australia's bowling at the moment. Cummins coming in for last ball, the delivery of the over, another full one. Rahul just shapes, plays it forward down back down the pitch, and that's another over, another great over from Cummins. Another tight over, another maiden for Pat Cummins. India after 10 overs, 1 for 14. Let's have a look at some of these comments, guys. So, to bone, first session will set up the whole series. Yeah, exactly what I said, Steve. The whole series is basically set up on the first session. India go 5 for 65, or they go 1 for 85. It's a very different story, isn't it? So, yes, first session, very, very, very important. Looks like Captain Pat's now swung Hazelwood around to Stark's end. So Stark's going to have a rest. Hazelwood, 3 overs, 1 maiden, none for 5. So very tidy start for Hazelwood. He's going to come in from Stark's end. It's 1 for 14. Stark off now. Hazelwood on from his end to Padikal. Padikal, very full one. Just beats Padikal outside off stump. Looks very tentative there. Playing and misses. Australian slips Cordner went up. Nice full delivery from Hazelwood. Let's have a look at the replay. Right on middle and leg, going across off stump. Beautiful delivery from Hazelwood. Would have beat many other better batsmen, or even worse batsmen. Great delivery from Hazelwood. So India really struggling. 1 for 14. Hazelwood in again to Padikal. Full of ball, just seaming back, bit of movement. Plays it forward to Cummins. Another dot ball. India struggling still. Steve, got to give Sweeney some time and not dump him after one series. Yeah, exactly. Steve Taboni, exactly, brother. I don't think they will. I mean, Australian A captain, South Australian captain, I think he's been primed to be the next Pat Cummins in the next, or take over after a Head or a Carey in the next 10 years. So McSweeney should be sweet after this series. Hazelwood again, just a little bit down leg side, just hitting Patikal in the leg, just playing it off the leg, no run again. So yeah, I mean, unless McSweeney literally scores, I don't know, 12 ducks, literally scores under 100 runs for the series, he's just got to get 200 runs for the series, and I think he'll be through, and they'll be grooming him to take over from, again, a Head, a Carey, or maybe Pat in the next few years. Likely captain and opening candidate. Usman's going to be gone soon, so we need another opener as well. So, yeah, McSweeney, need to give him a go. And then the great young Sam Constas would be my next bet, because he was a great St. George Junior, come through Point of Grey and Mooreshield and all those grades all the way up, and played first grade for St. George and now is at Sutherland. Supposedly Shane Watson, the ex-Australian grade, is a bit of a mentor to him at Sutherland there, first grade. And now, as we've seen, Sam Constas, big strides this year. Has made his way into the New South Wales team. 2 centuries in his first 2 innings for New South Wales on debut. First guy to do it since Archie Jackson, Don Bradman, Steve Waugh, I believe. Only 4 have ever done it in the history. Might have been Mark Waugh. I'm pretty sure it was Bradman, Archie Jackson, Mark Waugh, Steve Waugh. Steve Smith, Mark Taylor, one of them. Anyway, Sam Constas should be. You get McSweeney in now for this series. Constance comes in for the next series or two. That's our opening partnership, right and left-handers for the next 10 years. If you're an Australian selector, like I should be. And here comes Hazelwood again. And he's got him, and that's it. Yep, he's got one. He's got him to play. He's got Pattigale to play a bit wider, a full one again. Pattigale just cannot get off the mark. He's out for a duck and caught behind by Carey at wicketkeeper. Josh Hazelwood, great move from Captain Cummins to move Stark and Hazelwood around. Let's have a look at the replay. Hazelwood, full ball, nice seam, pitching outside off. Pattigale playing all over it, trying to defend it way outside his off stump. Thick edge. Carey takes the wicket. India, 2 for 14. Well, there you go. Hazelwood just taking the second wicket for India. India in trouble, 2 for 14 after 11. A wicket maiden for Hazelwood. The Indian flags are up as the Indian great Kohli comes to the wicket, but Kohli coming to the crease in desperate trouble for India. 2 for 14 after 11 overs. Australia's bowling has been on the money. Astounding bowling from Australia. Absolutely on the money. Virat Kohli, one of the greatest of all time batsmen, all-time Indian player, would play in every Indian test, all-time 11, I believe. Definitely one of the greatest players of the last 20 years. Definitely in that 3 or 4 list of Steve Smith and Baba Azam and Kane Williamson and, of course, the great Joe Root, probably the 5 greatest batsmen of this last era or so, last 20 years. Here he is, Kohli, averaging some astounding numbers in Australia. The Indian drums are beating, the flags are out. Let's see if Kohli can do something. And it's going to be Rahul on strike as Cummins comes in for the next over. India, 2 for 14 after 11. Let's have a look at some of these comments here. So Stumpy again. What do we got? Stumpy. Peter Siddle's from Morwell. I don't know the family. I'm from Mo. Okay. Yeah, Peter Siddle from Morwell in Victoria. Is that right? Or Country New South Wales, Stumpy? And you're from Mo. Where's that, mate? Is that Country New South Wales? I'm not 100% sure of that. And you went to, I say Victoria. You went to school with Gary Ablett's family. Okay. Gary Ablett, Australian football AFL royalty. So Stumpy knows a bit of Australian football league royalty there. Nice comment, mate. Thanks, Stumpy, for that comment, mate. Like and subscribe below. Let's get those comments going, guys. Down there below. Comment, like, subscribe. India, 2 for 14 right now. 11.2 overs. Captain Pat Cummins, another 2 dot balls, bowling super tight. 2 maidens, 2 for none. None for 2 at the moment. He's in his 3rd over. None for 2. Captain Pat Cummins. And here we go. Cummins again. Another replay of Carey's easy catch off Hazelwood from Pattigale in the last over. Here's Cummins again. Or straight on off stump. Right on top of off stump. Moving away. KL Rahul beating all ends up there. A little bit of movement off the pitch, cutting back to Carey and cutting back off through the air like a leg cutter again. I believe that's Australia's best opportunity here on this Perth pitch today. They just need to be bowling leg cutter after leg cutter after leg cutter, I believe, and that will be probably enough. And just as I say that, Steve Smith in the first slip, of course he does that one, the old leg cutter. Yeah, leg cutters Australia, that's what we need. And then we need a fast Yorker coming back. Perfect conditions for Bumrah. So India, if they bowled, it would have been a very similar situation, I believe. Pat Cummins, beautiful ball, be quicker this time, right on middle and off. Well played by Rahul. But yes, I believe it would have been similar situation had India and had Bumrah won the toss. Had Bumrah elected to bowl as he won the toss, or if Australia had elected to bat if they had won the toss. India were bowling. Bumrah would be very, very difficult on these on this pitch and these conditions, and we may have just got through the worst of it for Australia. So when we bat tomorrow, the day after, it might not be as bowling friendly for Bumrah. I think we've got the best conditions for now. So again, good captaincy from Pat Cummins. puts in the short one, and that one's come off the Rahul's ducked. I think it's come off either his shoulder or the back of the shoulder of the bat. Let's see what the signal from the umpire is. Yeah, Coley just saying you've got your bat in the air there, mate. You got your bat in as you've ducked, and it didn't actually reach really high. I only got up around shoulder height there, Pat Cummins, and it's come off the blade, the side, the edge of KL Rahul's bat, flown over the slips, and that's just landed inside the boundary, but snuck over the boundary. Yeah, just went over the boundary for 4. So 4 runs. Not very confident 4 runs there from KL Rahul. Not confident at all. Here we go. Cummins' last ball there. Pitched another one up. Well bowled. Cut back. Beautiful line of length from back Cummins. And that's another over for the Australians. And that is India after 12 overs, 2 for 18. And I'm just going to have a quick break. And here we are back live. India, 2 for 18. Kohli is facing his first few balls now. And he'll strike to Hazelwood. Hazelwood comes in. Nice ball, beats him all, ends up. Coley plays and misses again. So it's a great over from Hazelwood. India, 2 for 18. So let's have a look at the comments down there, guys. Any comments? Let's have a look. So what do we got? Most runs. What do we got? Steve Taboni. Who was quicker, me or Pat Cummins in their prime? I think Pat's got me, Stevie. I wasn't that quick, but I was quick enough. Sweeney, drawn series from Taboni. All right, Steve Smith, most runs. Okay, Steve, yeah. Steve Smith, most runs. Lion, most wickets. All right. Yeah, I wasn't as quick as Pat, mate, I'm afraid, but got him up to about 125 maybe, but 130, but 140, no. Anyway, cheers to all the Indian fans and Australian fans out there. Let's have a lovely beer and toast to each other for a great test series coming up. Good luck to Australia. Good luck to India. May the better team win. So I believe they're having a drinks break right now, just as I am having a drinks break myself. Too modest. Yeah, no, too modest. If you remember who the quickest bowler was, Steve, it was Eno. So Eno was a little guy who opened the bowling for us a couple of times. He was 5 foot tall, and he was quick. He was 135. He was bowling bounces, and dudes were jumping out of the way. He was quick. If you and me were 125, he was 135, mate. He was fast. He was the fastest bowler. I faced him once at training, and that was the quickest bowling I've ever faced. So, yeah, Eno. Yeah, you could field in gully all right, mate. You could field. You could bowl too. You could swing them around. I remember that. Remember that one day I think you took a 5 foot or a 6 foot and a 4 foot. You took 10 wickets in a match and you were hooping them around. They were moving this far. So, yeah, you could bowl, Stevie. You could bowl. Anyway, so some of the big topics. No Rohit Sharma for the first test. Having the birth of his second child and is more than likely going to arrive in Perth sometime later in the towards the end of the duration of the first test there and join his squad. So big blow for India, not their captain, their opening batsman, probably the best opening batsman in the world for the last half a dozen years or so. So Sharma, big blow. Bumrah, captain. Cummins and Bumrah, first time in a long time, if ever, they've had 2 test captains from opposing teams that are fast bowlers. So that really is going to bring an interesting dynamic to the play for the first test. Maybe the second test if Bumrah captains. If Sharma for the second test, Bumrah will be captaining again. So should be very interesting. Bumrah holds and attacks the Australians with his tactics throughout the first test. And back from the drinks break, 18 overs, 2 for 18. And in comes Pat Cummins, the captain, to KL Rahul, who works one through the onside and mid-wickets. Well fielded by Mitch Marsh, no run. So India having won the last 2 test series in Australia, holding the Border Gavaskar trophy. So Australia really needing to try and to buck that trend for this time around, having not defeated India on home soil in the last 8 years. So big series for Australia. Can Australia finally turn that around and get back the Border Gavaskar trophy? Cummins into Rahul. Another great delivery. Rahul just fetching outside off stump, playing and missing again there. So India really struggling at the moment, 2 for 18. Great delivery, really leapt off the pitch there, Cummins. And Australia's new debutant, Nathan McSweeney, to open the batting for Australia with Usman Khawaja, South Australian captain, Australian A captain, and more than likely going to be groomed for the captaincy sometime down the line for Australia if he performs well with the bat in his debut match. Cummins just working that ball down a leg side there, and KL Rahul just whipping it out past The umpire at mid square leg there for a single. For a two, actually got two there. So Rahul back for the second. So India 2 for 20. So thanks for everyone for joining me today. It's been a great start to the Test series. India 2 for 20. Coming up to halfway through the first hour of the first morning's play. First hour and a half of the play. Sun looking great, very warm out there at Perth at the moment. Sun out 21, 22 degrees. Most of the cloud coverage has dissipated. India in the 19th over 2 for 20, doing it very tough at the moment. Very slow run rate at the moment. Australia bowling very, very well. We're going to wrap it up after it's over. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for the live commentary today between Australia and India on the first test. The first morning, we'll join you again for the second morning of the second day's play tomorrow for India and Australia. Thanks for joining the World of Cricket channel, and we'll play out these last few balls. Here comes Cummins in again to Rahul. Bit of a fuller one. Wraps him on the pads, a bit of inside edge there. Half an appeal from Cummins. Hands on hips there from Pat. Half an appeal, but yeah, bat first, just outside off. It really wasn't going to take off stump, I don't believe. Not even pitching in line. Let's have a look here. That replay. Scrambled seam. Yeah, cutting back in, not pitching in line, and a big, thick inside edge onto the pads from KL Rahul. Not out of course, so well bowled though from Pat. He's bowled very, very well. Captain leading from the front again. Last ball the over to Rahul. Another one cutting back and just plays and edges it, guides it down to the second slip there. And that's the end of the over. It's Australia 2 for 20. India, 2 for 20 after 14 overs. So that will be the end of today's stream. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and we'll see you tomorrow for a live stream. Thanks very much. Bye for now. See you later from the World of Cricket channel.